gentlemen. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. So, Minister of Foreign and Caribbean Affairs Sean Sobers addressed the Association of Caribbean States Forum at the World Government Summit in Dubai on Thursday, highlighting regional collaborations. He described the forum as a valuable space for dialogue and sustainable development while highlighting priorities project. Listen to this.
In terms of priority projects, initiatives such as sargassum management and mangrove restoration are particularly important due to their direct impact on environmental resilience, public health, and economic activities, including fisheries and coastal tourism. These efforts can be aligned with national needs through tailored interventions, coordinated monitoring, and the sharing of best practices and technology.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, Minister Sobers reaffirmed the nation's commitment to initiatives that strengthen regional collaboration and integration, ensuring a lasting impact across all member states.
Trinidad and Tobago therefore encourages a focus on projects that promote collaboration, mobilize resources efficiently, and strengthen regional integration so that together we can advance sustainable development and generate lasting impact for all member states.
The Association of Caribbean States is hosting its 10th edition of the International Cooperation Conference. So, Trinidad and Tobago, we want to wish Sobers all the best and bring home something good, hopefully. Newly appointed Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister and Head of the Public Service, Natasha Barrow, has pledged to work diligently to transform and modernize the public service. Speaking at the ceremony in recognition of the appointment of the head of the public service on Thursday, she said transformation must be driven by senior leadership in the public service, with a clear focus on performance, efficiency, and service delivery. Listen to this, viewers.
We cannot continue to defer reform to another moment, another administration, or another generation. The time for change is now. That change requires a deliberate shift in attitudes and in how we exercise authority and in how we manage performance. In its place, we must build a culture anchored in professionalism, confidentiality, accountability, and results, where leadership is exercised decisively, problems are confronted honestly, and excellence is expected, supported, and rewarded.
She said the public service plays a critical role in government while remaining independent from political influence. Listen to this.
We cannot continue to defer reform to another moment. That independence is not a privilege, it is a responsibility. It exists to ensure continuity, objectivity, and sound administration in the service of national interests. At its core, the fundamental roles of the public service remain unchanged. We advise the government on policy options. We implement the policy decisions of the government, and we function as the administrative machinery that keeps the state operating. What must change urgently is not what we do, but how we do it.
Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa has praised the new head of the Public Service, Permanent Secretary Natasha Barrow, for working with her new government since assuming office in April 2025. Drawing from Marshall Montano's encore, she called on PS Barrow to give them performance and set a high standards for public service transformation. Natasha.
A transition phase is never easy for anyone. For P.S. Barrow, I congratulate her. She took us through that transition phase after we formed the government, and she has continued to work with us. We look forward to you now joining her, PSs, deputy PSs. And P.S. Barrow, this is my mandate to you. You know what Marshall says? Give them performance. Give them performance.
Prime Minister refuted claims about government workers who worked before the UNC took office and officially the public service workers being fired. Here's what you have to say.
The professionals in the public service, I have not sent one home, not one. I don't wish to send any. And I don't think I can even send somebody home, even if I wanted to. I don't have that power. I don't have that jurisdiction. But P.S. Barrow can. As head of the public service, P.S. Barrow, I'm putting you on the spot, trying to be a little amusing, but you may have the authority to make recommendations, and I will ask you, in all fairness and in all balance, to reward those who are willing to work, those who are willing to put their shoulders to the wheel. We lift them up. Let us stop all this acting. Let's get the DPA and the Service Commission to work. Get them to work.
So now, viewers, reiterating Permanent Secretary Barrow's commitment on outdated system within the public service, the Prime Minister said these deficiencies continue to hinder efficiency and effective service delivery. We cannot
deliver 21st century services using 20th century tools. Resistance to technology, weak risk management, and a culture of excuses continue to delay innovation and slow decision making. Our citizens expect outcomes, not too many explanations. They want the outcomes. Equally troubling in some instances is the erosion of professional confidentiality and discipline. When integrity is compromised, of course, trust is weakened.
So viewers, the Prime Minister noted that a public servant that does not invest in its people cannot expect excellence. Well said. But nevertheless, let's wait and see the outcome of that. So, staying on the Prime Minister now, Prasad Bissasa's first official overseas visit to the United States last year delivered immediate benefits for Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement on Wednesday, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs said her visit firmly positioned the countries for renewed economic growth, strengthened international partnership, and enhanced national security. The 9-day mission was executed with strict fiscal discipline and was budgeted at under $1 million, with minimal additional expense arising from a special invitation by U.S. Secretary of State for the Prime Minister to visit Washington for a high-level meeting, bringing the total cost to $1.1 million. So Trinidad and Tobago, her first 9-day visit, cost $1.1 million. So every time the delegation leaves Trinidad and Tobago, viewers, we are going to try to bring you the cost of that expense that the Trinidad and Tobago Taxpayers Association is paying for. Now, over the course of the visit, Prime Minister and the delegation participated in approximately 30 high-levels meetings and events with world leaders, senior government officials, multilateral institutions, and international investors. Like I said, viewers, every time a delegation leaves Trinidad and Tobago that goes on government business, we're going to try to bring you some of the details, some of the expense, and you'll see from there what actually benefits us. Because in the last administration, they were flying all over the country, all over the world, in fact. We didn't get the expense. But nevertheless, this government says that they are going to better the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago with bilateral talks, foreign investors coming into the country. So viewers, let's just wait and see what is going to take place. We had some individuals from the UAE visiting Trinidad. Health-wise, let's see what is going to take place with that, how long it is going to take before we actually reap the benefit of all those visits thus far. So I am still waiting to see yam being sold in Trinidad and Tobago market or on the international market. Remember, our former Prime Minister, Dr. Saieed Ali, visited Ghana. We had, according to him and his delegation back then, they had a successful visit to Ghana where they brought in thousands of yam seed. But we are yet to see yam seed or yam. Did the farmers of Trinidad and Tobago got yam to plant? Did any farmer in Trinidad and Tobago got yam to plant from Ghana? How is the yam growing thus far? I would like to ask Ravi Ratiram if any one of the farmers in Trinidad planted yam from the former administration. The reason why I'm saying former, because we had Dr. Saieed Ali, we had Stuart Young for a month, and now we have Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and leader of the UNC. So it goes back to the former. Did we get yam on the market from Ghana? How much did that trip cost? And what were the benefits to Trinidad and Tobago? So recently I saw I believe, what's my name again? Oh God, I remember his name. Satya Kama, went Ghana. And he said, I believe in the coming weeks, that we're going to have a direct chartered flight from Trinidad to Ghana. So let's wait and see what will take place. I mean, if it's a chartered flight, I would love to be on that flight, being a businessman, going to Ghana to expand Real Talk financing. Let's wait and see. So viewers, let me tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago have potential to grow, you know. We have potential to grow. We have products right here in Trinidad that we could ship to other countries, you know. We have the Manufacturers Association in Trinidad and Tobago could ship their product outside of the country and gain benefits in US currency, you know, to bring back home, to reinvest, you know. But you know what we need? We need leadership. We need somebody who will talk on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago. We need somebody who's bold and without fear. We need somebody who will sit down and negotiate with other countries, ministers. That is what we need. We need key players. We need strong individual, firm individual. That is what we need. We need people who know how to talk. And action follows, benefit follows, growth follows. So my thing now is, do we have it in Trinidad and Tobago? Do we have that bold person? Imagine I expand in my financial company into Guyana. Very soon into Panama. Last week I was in Panama, a week in Panama, meeting with lawyers to set up our business in Panama. Real Talk Financing in Panama. You know, I was giving you all a little hint. Very soon we'll be in Panama. Last week I was here, I spent a week meeting with about 4 or 5 different lawyers, putting together our paperwork to start Real Talk Financing in Panama. So Trinidad and Tobago, we expanding. Not just in this country. Some people will say, oh, Saeed, where you could go? You can't go and do nothing. Trust me, I ain't the money business. That is my feeling, the money business. That is the reason why we have the highest interest rate on fixed deposit presently in the country. And the thing about the fixed deposit now is that you're getting the interest up front. And to be honest, Trinidad and Tobago, with the effect of gas going up, with the effect of cement raising, I mean, we want the best for our money. We want the best. So Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit with your interest up front within the first 14 days of you signing your agreement. Which financial institution offering you that? None. None. My background is finance, you know. I've been in finance for almost 30 years, you know. That is why today, Real Talk Financing is leading in fixed deposit. Interest up front. Nobody else give you that. Nobody else. We have a loan center, which I'm the director. Let me tell you something. Our company is growing. Growing, and growing. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, you're going to love what we have to deal with concerning our lawyer and the police. Stay locked on.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to educate you a little bit. For those of you who do not know, call your friends, call your family, tell them, hey, you know, to send it your side showing live. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. The law allows police to detain citizens for a maximum of 48 hours without breaching constitutional rights. I will read that again. The law allows police to detain a citizen for a maximum of 48 hours without breaching constitutional rights. Any extension beyond that time requires judicial approval under special circumstances. Now, this according to Attorney Omlala. who noted that persons need to understand what their rights are in terms of arrest, detention, and custody. Listen to this.
It's important to note that police can only detain you either under warrant or suspicion of a crime. They cannot just detain you for the purposes of interviewing you or that they suspect that you can assist in questioning. That's a misconception. And people have to also understand that when you are arrested or detained or police take you in their custody and you cannot leave, you have a right not only to remain silent, but for legal representation. All your constitutional rights exist there, and it's important that people understand what their rights are in terms of arrest, detention, and custody.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, because the reason why we decided to do this is all the bacchanal that had taken place. Now, with the shooting that recently took place with the police and Joshua, we decided to educate you a little bit. Now, he added that one should not be confrontational with the police. For instance, where people are attempting to videotape an incident. Now listen carefully. Despite international acceptance of cell phone footage to determine and identify wrongdoing, he said, one must be careful because it may come down to one person word against several police officers. Listen to this.
People have to be aware that in spite of Justice Sipasad's ruling and in spite of the fact that there's no prohibition from videotaping, you're still going to encounter police officers who will tell you, put away your phone, you can't, I will charge you, and take an abusive approach towards you. And it's important not to be confrontational with the police, especially if they are being confrontational, because my whole career I've seen police officers in situations sometimes deciding, well, okay, you don't want to do this, I'm going to charge you for obstructing justice.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, together with High Court Judge Frank Sipasad, they also said it is okay to videotape police officers. So understand, High Court Judge in Trinidad and Tobago, together with the former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, is saying it is okay to videotape police officers. It is okay to videotape incidents that happen in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? That is your legal rights. Yours. Now, Mr. Lala said, the long and short of the matter is to become familiar with your rights to avoid a bad run in with the law. He also stated that the Commissioner of Police must train officers to properly public engage and then the legal limit of their authority. Mr. Lala noted the lack of public trust undermines crime fighting effort, which is so true. Now, he added that there are many instances where TTPS officers are rude to citizens. And we have been seeing that, Trinidad and Tobago. We have been seeing that because one individual will be recording the officer from a distance, and the officer will actually walk up to them and slap the camera off the phone. Listen to this.
Where public trust is at an all-time low, it is difficult for even the police to effect what their duties are. And it is incumbent upon the police to ensure that they build that confidence. Now, police have a difficult time. We are dealing with a high degree of lawlessness. We see home invasions, we see the murders, the robberies, where police are pushed on the line, sometimes in very difficult situations where they're shot at, they're threatened, their family lives become disrupted. But there's a balancing exercise. You're in a tough place, but you still have to balance it with trust. And it comes back to the simple things. When you enter a police station, sometimes police officers in very simple matters are very rude to members of the public. There are many instances of women who are in domestic situations who are abused. They go to the police station, and instead of being treated with any degree of compassion, they're treated in a very harsh and abusive way. Simple road traffic stops, routine traffic stops. Instead of having a courteous approach, there's a hostile, rude approach. We appreciate that sometimes in confrontational situations or in difficult situations, the police have to exert a high degree of force and aggression, and that's understandable. But you can't be aggressive all the time. You have to understand it's a balancing exercise.
So not trying to be, just a few days ago I was talking about domestic violence, where individual go to the station asking for assistance, and the police is like, get out of here, go home and cook some roti. You tell any man, go and make up with the wife. Trinidad and Tobago, like I said, no other station, TV station in Trinidad and Tobago highlight the issues like we do it. Hence the reason why we are the #1 current affairs program. You want to know why? Because we bring the issue to you. We educate you, we uplift you. We don't want you to be under the white line where somebody will walk over you because of the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is power. Hence the reason why we decided to share this particular version with you all, to educate you. Now I'll tell you something. Police is always say, if you see something, say something. And all of a sudden, Alexander turned his mouth. Turned his whole scenario concerning trusting the police. Now, when we have a police officer who tried to muzzle you on sharing videos, trying to pull you down, they cannot get help from the public. They can't. Now, I'll tell you something. When a policeman, listen carefully here, Trinidad and Tobago, when a policeman comes off duty, you are a human being. You go home to your mother, your father, you go home to your wife, you go home to your brother, you go home to your children. I want you to understand something. This is Trinidad and Tobago. This is not Venezuela, this is not Guyana, this is not the United States. These days we have bandits will follow your home and spray up your home. That is the reality we have today in Trinidad and Tobago. So police officers on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago, when you all go to work, now I would love if you all go home to meet your family in one piece, you know, in one piece. But when you all are on exercise and you want to speak to people, like if there are some dog you're dealing with, it don't work so. Because you being an officer, listen this, you being an officer driving your kind of roadblock, the first thing you do when a police stop you, you pull out your badge to show them you are a police officer too. What does that say? They got a green card, go and collect 200? No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. I know some seniors, when they get stopped in a roadblock, you know where they look at? They look at how the officer addressed them. That is what they look at. They look at how the officer addressed them. I in vehicle with a lot of seniors. When I tell you seniors, high-ranking seniors, and I saw a lot of them pull up on officers for being rude, disgusting, stink, out of place. You're talking like if it's a hog or a dog you're talking to. I saw seniors jump out the car and embarrass officers. And they don't like it. They don't like it. How do we get the citizens to trust the DPS? You work with them. You work with them. Now, I'll tell you something. In every single community in Trinidad and Tobago, the police station in the community knows the bandit. They know the drug man. They know the pushers. They know the prostitute. Every single community, I'm telling all you. I'm telling all you. When you have a roadblock, it's a simple thing. A simple thing. Can I have your documents, sir? Good morning, sir. Can I have your documents? My name is so-and-so from Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. We're from so-and-so area. We're conducting a roadblock. May I see your documents, please? And thanks. It's simple. Be courteous. But when you want to be like a hog on the nation road, do you expect citizens to trust you? Do you expect citizens to respect the uniform? Because, brother man, I could tell you, when you take out that uniform, You become nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing without the uniform on. When you go on your raid, I understand you have to be a certain way. But having a roadblock is not a raid, you know. You're checking documents, you're searching car. Act like a human being. And not like a racehorse. Getting licks to run. And you see what we need? We need police officers to undergo training on how to talk with the public. Because I will tell you something. If I ever get stopped in a roadblock and an officer talk to me like a hog, I'm going to tell you something. Suleiman is a different story between me and you know. It's a different story between me and you. I know my rights and you know yours. Talk to me like a human being and I will address you as a human being. You talk to me like a dog. Trust me, I will talk to you like a pit bull. And that's the difference. You all want the public trust earlier. Can we? Can we? Roger Alexander used to say, if you see something, say something. You think anybody going to say something now? No, they're not going to say anything. Call a good night.
Mr. Said, great and powerful and informative program tonight. Well, as always. But I mean, this information you are disseminating to the citizens of this country, and man, you can't pay for this, you know. And this is, you know, you continue to do it to educate the citizens. But one of the big problems we have in the police service and in this country, every crime, every lawless act, every wrongdoing, every home invasion is connected to the police service and the politics of this country. We have a woman from Tobago home invasion yesterday. Poor lady, 72 years old, poor lady, home invasion. You know what she said? God will punish them. She tell the criminals that. And when you commit wrongdoings, God will punish you. So in the police service, even if a police commit a crime, is me investigating me, myself investigating myself. So the colleague leaving a back door for them to escape. So they will have them on suspension for 5 years, 10 years. They get a full pay. And at the end, when the case called, no evidence because they leave a back door, a loophole for them to escape those charges. And there are no consequences for wrongdoing. So these things will continue to continue in this country. And Mahatma Gandhi once said, the changes we want to see, the changes we want must start with me. And when you have a bunch of politicians here who are like, they are like dictators today. Look, Zaku. Why Zaku don't deal with the mafia in the licensing offices? You had thugs there. So they deliberately is a deliberate act to have lines, you know, because they go and they say, hey, give me $300 and we will fix you up. You are telling you, and you in the line, they say, all right, what's from a signal, you come down. And I see it happen. And this is what happens. So Zaku, if you want to make changes, you want to punish the citizens, start with yourself and fix the organization you're responsible for. No white lines on the road. No white lines on the road. And you are blaming the citizen and saying you're fixing crime by punishing the citizen. But no white line on the road, eh? Mr. Said, you keep up this great work you're doing, man. God bless you and your staff. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking about Alexander. Stay locked on.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, Rajesh Lal, police, he's a police officer. He's the police service media ambassador. Once said, it is not against the law for a civilian to videotape a police officer. Back in 2024, he said that. And he's the police service media ambassador. Remember that. So, Trinidad and Tobago, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander is standing firm against calls for his resignation, affirming his commitment to continue serving the country. You see? Same thing I'm saying. If Roger Alexander don't want to be labeled as the last Minister of National Security we had, try to align yourself with the correct thing. That is all. Remember, you're not just a police officer anymore, you know. You're not just an officer on TV anymore, you know. You have been elevated to the Minister of Homeland Security for Trinidad and Tobago. That is a responsibility. That is a way you could conduct yourself totally different from being a police officer. You represent Trinidad and Tobago on an international level. And if you embarrass yourself, Mr. Roger Alexander, you will be embarrassed, not as a police officer, not as a police officer on TV, not representing Trinidad, the TTPS, but the Minister of Homeland Security for Trinidad and Tobago. You'll be embarrassing yourself internationally. Internationally. Since April 2026, we haven't heard from the former Minister of National Security. Where Rastaman gone? Where Mr. Hines? Since 2026, we haven't heard from him. No? When was the election? In 2025, April. So now, 2 months from now, will be April. That will make it 1 year we haven't heard from that individual. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in Trinidad and Tobago? Is he not? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So Roger Alexander, if you want to be like that, that is upon you. But remember, you have police officers under your ministry. Remember that. You see, I won't come up here to give you bad advice live on television. Now, my program is being streamed worldwide. We go live from 7 to 8 on Synergy Network. All the English-speaking country in the world views our program. That's why we have such high rating. Because we bring reality to the people. Let me tell you something. I know what I am Facebook trolling, you know. When you had 30 days up in a month, you go and you pay 350 or 400 for internet, and you sit down in a chair, and you lamb blast everybody on social media. That's trolls. We're bigger than that. We're bigger than that. Call a good night.
Good evening, sir. How are you going?
Go right ahead. I'm fine.
All right. So tonight, if you'd allow me, we need to put the nation and the motoring public on notice.
Tell me.
You see, before February is up, you see, especially over the carnival period, while you're distracted, I strongly suspect Zakur and company come in with an offense that you can't have camera or you can't have cell phone mount on your dashboard. I don't trust them fellas. You see this amount of talk, and you see how he closely monitoring it. He has nothing else to monitor. You see, here go down in no big hole. Mr. Saieed, hear this now. You remember the maxi taxi man with the girl Rob?
Yes.
Before fella, if he didn't have a camera in his car,
correct,
in the maxi,
correct,
what would have happened?
Those bandits would have go free.
They would have go free.
Yes.
But Zakur have a problem with that. If you didn't have a camera, you know how much accident you could safeguard against, correct, you know how much things you could record, people bad driving. If a getaway car is going up the highway, you could catch it and send it for somebody.
And I believe insurance company now is telling you to install a camera for evidence.
I cannot understand. Now I understand Ms. Marlene Arts is the independent senator. We asked that question. What it is wrong with these people? I don't know why the Belmont, you know, Zakur used to go up for Belmont. For more than 20 years, he tried to get Belmont days to have him in town. And he never get more than me, 100. They reject that man coming and going, you know. I now understand why they reject this man. Mr. Saieed, where this man come from to give people so much of pressure? Oh, God, for the motor car. Hear what I'm going to do. We're going back to old school, right? We're going back to Foxtail and Burn and things. Well, here's what I go do. I strongly oppose. I find it is overdoing it to make it take out the camera. What we will do, keep the camera. Right?
Thank you, my friend.
No, wait, listen.
Thank you, my friend. So, Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. If Zakur continue like this, let me tell you something. Just now, he go afraid to come out the house. Take what I'm telling you. Take what I'm telling you. Just now, he was afraid to come out the house. Because, as I said before, our citizens, 1.4 million people, came out of hardship under the PNM administration. We came out of hardship. Hence the reason why PNM people changed their vote and voted UNC. Because of that, they wanted a change. And instead of you help the people, you pressure the people. And where you want to live? Right here in Trinidad and Tobago? Right here? Just now his neighbors will be talking to him. Trust what I'm telling all you. Trust what I just hope Trinidad and Tobago end up in a Cooper again. Take what I'm telling all you. Because outside here have people. Outside here have people. You see the longest grain I hear on the head? It's under the water. It's under the water. And if Kamala Prasad Bisasa, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, don't want to be embarrassed on an international level, know the people are wrong you. Know the people are wrong you. Because when you come in to govern Trinidad and Tobago, not for 5 years, but for them to put you back there another 5 years. All those PNM ministers, how much of them are you seeing now? How much of them are being labeled and embarrassed? Let me tell you something. You come into ministership, you make a set of money, and you go home with it. After that, nobody want to see you. Because anytime somebody see you, use the worst prime minister, use the worst minister, we don't want to hear you. They don't. They don't. The way the UNC carrying on just now, you think people want to hear them in a year and a half from now? No, they wouldn't. They would not, just like the PNM. Caller, good night.
Night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
When I get away from the COVID virus with the business and all them things that shut down in the COVID, we get PNM, well, them give you good pressure, but Kamala, when people worse. What it is wrong with this woman and she whole set of people she put there? It have no happiness in this country again with she running this country.
Thank you, my dear. So Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going back to Roger Alexander. Now, his statement comes after a protest outside the Red House last Sunday where demonstrators demand he step down following the police involved shooting that claimed the life of Joshua Samaru and left his girlfriend, Kia Seeley, paralyzed. So Roger, instead of the people praise you and want you to continue working for Trinidad and Tobago benefit, they were you out the door. The embarrassment start. 10 months in office and they're done asking you to step down. They're already asking. And this is only the beginning of the demonstration. This is only the beginning. Imagine if the whole of Trinidad and Tobago protest together. Remember Andrea Barrett killing? Remember that? The entire population of Trinidad and Tobago had candle vigil in every community in the country. Imagine if the whole country go against you, Alexander. What's going to happen? Is Trinidad and Tobago your home? Is your neighbor will continue to be your neighbor and speak to you and tell your neighbors good morning? Huh? Ask yourself that. I understand your job. No, I will tell you something. Come back to me, director. I understand my job, you know. I understand my job, you know. My job is a risky job, you know. People could pass and shoot up my car. People could pass right outside my studio. People could come and stand up and wait. And when they see me coming down, they gun me down, you know. I know the security measures in my job, you know. You know why? For highlighting issues. For putting ministers on spot. I know the risk in my job. But I will tell you something. They wouldn't take God out of their thought. You know why? You know why? When you pull that gun, make sure you shoot. Because trust me, in 9 days' time, you wouldn't see what color you have in front of you because I will willfully get you blind. Me asking you, I'm telling you. That's why it's be like that on my show. I know the power I possess. I know who is me. I know my risk. I know my security risk. And I know I could get gunned down. But trust me, the day you pull a gun behind me and you have to decide in the ground, tell yourself you have 14 days to see where the 2 eye that God gave you. After that, you're like a bat, you're blind. Trust me. So, addressing the incident, Alexander emphasized the importance of due process and evidence in police investigation. Now, I'll tell you something. Before I tell you that, listen to this video.
First of all, I am the Minister of Homeland Security, and I will continue to serve my country as long as the Honorable Prime Minister gives me that portfolio to do so. Furthermore, my job entails a lot of activities. Some I could explain, some I cannot. When the people call for these things, sometimes persons are hurting, it's an emotional call and all of these things. I continue to understand because I was here before. I was in that position that the commissioner was in before, not as a police commissioner, but as a senior police officer involved in operations. And I know, no matter what it looks like, evidence is what changes the game. Evidence is what the police need to do to bring someone before a court to be dealt with according to law.
So now one thing he stressed on is evidence. The video footage shows Joshua, both hands was outside. Both hands was outside. And he was gone down. First thing first, from the time a judge or a magistrate sees that, but officer, the individual's both hands outside the car. Now let's spray up the car. So the police officer who was on the right side aiming his gun at the driver, why didn't you demand the individual come outside with his hand in the air? So because of that now, because of that video, Alexander wanted to go to Parliament to bring legislations and laws and amendment to stop people from posting police activities and raids on social media. And that is the same policeman who was on TV saying, if you see something, say something. It's saddened. So what actually you stand for? I understand you're the police. Now, let's flip the coin. Let's flip the coin. His own police officers put Roger Alexander and the Commissioner of Police now in hot water, demanding them to step down. Who put them there? Their own police officers. Have the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago protesting that they step down. Imagine that, eh? So who have them there? Their own police officers. Their own police officers. Anybody watch that videotape would ask, so why the officer on the right-hand side didn't demand the individual to come out with his hands in the air? They want to talk about evidence. They want to talk about evidence. You see, that's the difference. That is the difference. We are going into the 21st century with technology. Roger Alexander used to tell people, put cameras in your house, so when a bandit come, you will have footage. The police will go after them with your video footage. And the video footage don't lie. So I am asking myself now, that footage that's shared on social media, was that a lie? You see, Alexander own officers, them have them in hot water. And to this date, them are realizing that. To this date, they ain't realized that. Before you come out and tell the citizen, okay, we have viewed the footage and we are taking necessary steps. Necessary steps to protect yourself, protect your job, and for the votes of the citizens. But you saw the video and you gone against the citizen now who actually seen the same video you seeing. Trinidad and Tobago, we upside down. The wrong cannot be the right. I just say that the wrong cannot be the right. That's what I tell people live on my program. You come after me for me speaking the truth. Trust me, our spirit will slap you down. I ain't afraid to say it. I ain't afraid to say it. Our spirit will deal with you. Because I am not defending myself or my children. I am educating the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The Commissioner of Police, Minister of Homeland Security, it's police officers that put them in that position. Police officers. You see, I'll tell you something. You see, rushing to talk, quick to speak and less listening is a serious thing. It's a serious thing. That's what I was telling the minister, the Commissioner of Police. You rush to talk. You rush to talk that got you into hot water. Now the citizen is demanding you step down. What you were supposed to do as the Commissioner of Police and also Roger Alexander, look at the video. Look at the video. Understand the video. Understand what took place. I'm not a police officer, you know. But trust me, the knowledge I have, could I be right up? I was going in the army just before they had the 1990 coup in Trinidad and Tobago. My father told me if you join the army, come out the house. That was my father telling me. If you join the army, come out the house. He said, I don't want you to be not the police, not the army, not the Coast Guard. He said, because I ain't want nobody come and spray down my house. That's what he told me. Look probably come today. A bank owner, business in and out Trinidad and Tobago, A TV host representing Trinidad and Tobago, and somebody who does do spiritual work very, very firm. Look where I is today. If I didn't listen to my father, I'd end up in the police, or the Coast Guard, or the army, and some bandit come to spray down my house with bullet. Who knows my father might have got a bullet because of me? Sometimes listening, observing, this be the best thing. This be the best thing. You think Roger Alexander wanted to be in that spot? No, he didn't want to. But he stand for the police, not knowing what you're standing for. Not knowing the police putting you in a hot spot. Did they ask for the police and them who did the shooting to resign? No, they asked for Alexander to resign. They asked for the commissioner to resign. And they're blaming Kamla Prasad Bisasa. That's the difference. Common sense is a key to understanding. But you will have book sense and they have no common sense and you'll be a what? A dummy. You'll be a dummy. Because 2 and 2 will tell you 4. And when the population asks you now to explain how 2 and 2 become 4, all you have is book sense and no common sense. Because all they teach you is 2 and 2 is 4. Could you explain how 2 and 2 is 4? No, you can't explain. Because you don't have the capacity for common sense, you don't have it. I'm going to show you a little demonstration. 4 fingers in the air. 2 and 2 is 4. Show me the common sense behind that. How you explain how 2 and 2 add 4? You could do it. You don't have common sense. All you know is 2 and 2 is 4. Look at the logic behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 2 is 4. You could break it down. All I know that teacher is 2 and 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's sad. Today, the whole world is watching Trinidad and Tobago Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander on his decision and what steps going further, and also the Commissioner of Police, Alistair Grovero, to see what they're going to do. What they're going to do. Talks on the street is that one of the police officers was the girl X. That's talk on the street. You understand? Talk on the street. Did Roger know that? Who knows? Did the Commissioner know that? Who knows? Like I said, all in a position, don't be like the others that went by. Gary Gifford did his work so good. Look, he commented, he's still available to share his knowledge with Trinidad and Tobago. Where's the Rasta man? Nobody wants to hear about him. I disgrace the Trinidad and Tobago security as a minister. It's sad. It's sad. Let me tell you something. If I wasn't educating Trinidad and Tobago and teaching Trinidad and Tobago good, you think we would have become the #1 current affairs program? Nevertheless, viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, another night, another show. Until then, be safe.